Hi, everybody. It's Dale Walsh, the Poetic Warrior, welcoming you to Straight, Sane, and Sober for Tuesday, August 30th. And today, our guests are Adam and Kerry Duval, the founders of the Mental Health Warriors, and I'm very honored to have them. They're backstage right now, and so we'll get the show started. Everybody, it's Dale Walsh, the Poetic Warrior, and I am getting more advanced with this StreamYard link, so let me read my poem, and well, actually, I'll bring Adam and Kerry on first, and then we can see their reactions to my poem. So uh, the poem is called "Welcome, Adam and Kerry. Good to see you."
Thank you.
Let me get my poem going. It's called Reflection on the Eternal Obsession. Females are hot springs of geyser emotions, erupting with periodic regularity and mad kinetic energy, creating desires for unions of lust and love, devotion and passion, wanton fulfillment as the planet continues to sustain both deep and petty feelings, and people wrestle with the whims of a reality of longing for the divine bliss of a grace granted by the benevolent Lord, hidden by the illusions of time and space unfolding, cure of amorous consummation pulling lovers to the sweet satisfaction of unending kisses. So I dedicate it to you and to Adam and Kerry for their eternal love. So even though Adam says that Kerry's going to kill him tonight, so I hope that doesn't happen. But welcome everybody. It's good to have you on the show. How's everything today?
Adam is going to die today. I had to. I couldn't resist. I had to.
I think this is a game we might be playing all day if Kerry deleting Adam and I bringing him back. So how are you feeling, Adam? Are you feeling threatened by Kerry's determination to kill you tonight?
Well, we're not going to be triggering anyone tonight, let's just say that, but deep down I know Kerry loves me. Because we're in a love-hate marriage.
Right. Well, you've been married, it's almost a year now, or a little more than a year, or when?
Too long.
Nearly 18 months.
Okay, well, they say the honeymoon lasts 12 to 18 months. So I guess you're just about at the end of the honeymoon phase, and I'm not sure I want to see what happens after the honeymoon phase. Oh, Adam's removing his glasses.
Yes.
One of my best friends used to remove his glasses before he beat up anybody. So I hope that's not a sign from you, Adam. So today we're going to talk about the joys, trials, and joys of being the parents of autistic children. And Adam pointed out that maybe we've talked about this, but I don't think we've gotten into it with both of you here. So, um, you know, when did you first find you have two autistic children, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when did you first find out they were autistic, and what was your reaction? And especially when you found out the second was autistic, how did you react to that?
I'll let Kerry
Um,
answer.
with Lucas, it was the paediatrician that told us about autism. And my first ever reaction to autism was, oh my God. I didn't have a clue what it was, how to deal with it, or anything like that. So, um, when we put Lucas to bed that night, I broke down in tears, thinking. I mean, obviously, I had loads of different things going through my head, but they were really negative things. So then I started looking into autism and finding out that it's not the horror that I thought it was. That autism could be a gift. And obviously, we were waiting to see what Lucas's autism superpower is, which we found out was maths. And then it's just all been a learning journey since then. We didn't think Tegan had autism at first, but then obviously the paediatrician said yes, it's autism. I think I got a little bit of mum guilt because we did her bedroom up. I gave her like a little bedroom makeover that weekend, and I think I went a little bit over the top with it. But I think that was more for me, sort of thing. But again, it's more of a learning curve. We're always learning about autism, and I'm currently doing an autism course, not for any specific reason other than learning about autism.
So how old were you when you first were exposed to autism? How old was you? This was your first child, right?
Yeah, I was about 20.
But how old was he?
He was about 2.
10?
About 2 or 3.
Two.
2 or 3?
Yeah, it was either 2 or 3.
Nursery.
Speaking of,
So before, hi, how are you? We're talking about you.
We're live on the Warriors.
We're live on the Warriors. So were there any indications before the diagnosis that something might be affecting your child or not? You can answer that, Adam.
It was just all this repetitive behaviour. Obviously, he kept he had a speech disorder. That's what he was diagnosed with, and obviously he was lining his toys up. He was constantly turning in circles, and we didn't know what that was. But then it was his nursery teacher at the time saying he could have autism, and that is the first ever time we actually heard that word.
So what I've heard is autism is like typified by sort of social withdrawal and not interacting with other people. Was that part of the situation?
Yeah. So basically, autism is a mixture of social communication and repetitive behaviours. So the repetitive behaviours was lining things up, wanting things a certain way, wanting to do the same things over and over again, sort of thing, being obsessed with one particular thing, but then really struggling socially to communicate with other people. So Lucas would always prefer to play on his own. So that was one of the first things in nursery. Even though he had a sibling at home, he was always preferred not to be with his sister, to play on his own.
And how did the sister react? Did she socially isolate too, or was she more social?
She's a bit of both.
Yeah, she is a little bit of both. So she still likes to play on her own, but then she will interact when she feels like she can tolerate the other kids.
Yeah, but when she's on her own, she's masking.
Yeah.
When
she's in the social group, she's masking. When she's on her own, it's her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you mean by masking? That's if you could explain that, I think it'd be helpful.
Yeah. Do you want to take it, Adam?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on then. Go on then.
So what
you said you would take it.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to take it. But okay.
All right.
So you go, Adam. You tell us.
Okay, I'll go. See, I was being a gentleman there, letting women to take it. Oh, okay.
Do this.
But you brought it up, so you talk
And I'll
about
take
it.
it. Yeah,
No,
no, Adam can just be quiet down.
you know,
Adam can just be quiet down there, and I'll take it. So masking, it's basically it's a girl thing with autism. So girls with autism will mask a lot of their symptoms, and they'll behave the way that they think they should behave. So they'll mimic the behaviour of the other girls in the group. So Tegan watches the other girls at school, and she'll sort of mimic their behaviours. And that's what masking is. She'll use copying behaviours to mask her autism.
Now,
That's, I think, the simplest way I can do it.
Was she aware of her autism or not?
At first, no.
But as time went on, did she? Did you tell her that she had this diagnosis?
Yeah. Yeah. So as soon as the paediatrician told us that she had autism, we sat down and we said, we know that Lucas has autism and has a superpower. Well, so do you. You have autism and you have a superpower too. So that's how we've explained it to her.
Right. And so what's the age difference between your children?
Exactly 18 months to the day.
Exactly 18 months. Okay. So have they been supportive of each other in this situation, or are they basically both socially isolated from each other?
I'll take that one. So, Kerry, you can shut up a minute. Basically, it's again like we said earlier. They like to socialise, but at the same time, they like their own space. Like with Lucas, when it comes to his room, that's his space, and he does not like even us going in his room. Otherwise, you're going to hear the wrath of it. But Tegan, well, obviously with females, they do get a hell of a lot worse. So, yes, even when Tegan shouts, even I have to run away.
I know that feeling. When I was growing up, people would always congratulate me on the way that I could amuse myself without anybody else, and I was never accused of autism, but then I turned out to be schizophrenic. So
yeah, but thing is, Tegan, she's a mini Kerry. I already have to deal with Kerry, so dealing with two of them, yeah, no wonder I'm losing me here.
I'm not getting involved in domestic.
It's not domestic.
I'm not getting involved in domestic differences between you and Kerry at this point. But
Either way, I love her.
What do you mean she's a miniature Kerry? What was it?
Well, have you heard the saying? They don't. Mothers don't give birth. Mothers don't give birth to sons or daughters. They give birth to clones.
Right.
That's exactly what Tegan is.
A clone of Kerry.
Yes.
Oh, well, Pat Benatar said you're never alone with the clone.
Kerry, am I digging?
How do you feel about that, Kerry? Do you think that your daughter's a clone of you, or do you see the
She is. She looks like her dad, but then she's got my attitude. So it's if Dad says no, it's don't care, I'll do it anyway.
Right. Well, just but you say she's got your attitude, meaning her feistiness, her
yes.
Her willingness to stand up to any abuse and everything, or what do you mean by?
Well, standing up to the.
She'll pick and choose. So, Adam, do me a favour. Shut up. No, she'll pick and choose. So it's if she's got something to say, she'll voice it, and she won't care about not voicing it. So it's I'm trying to think of an example to use. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but she's very vocal about what she thinks, how she feels when she wants to be, but the rest of the time it's if she wants to keep herself quiet, you know that something's coming. And when she's annoyed at Dad, so if Dad says that Manchester City are rubbish or anything like that, she's very, very vocal and lets him know that she doesn't approve of him saying things like that.
Okay, and I'm not sure I want to go here, but what did you mean when you said she was a clone of Kerry, Adam? I'm not sure that we should go here, but what the heck? This is an adventurous show, so you aren't going to answer this, right?
Come on, Dale, stop helping Kerry dig my grave. She's definitely got the feistiness, and I think when Tegan's getting bullied, she sometimes on a rare occasion stand up for herself, but 90% of the time she won't. She'll isolate herself.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've never known Kerry not to stand up for herself.
Well, I lived here for 7 days.
Yeah. Well, of course, I've never lived with Kerry, but it's always.
You don't want to. I'm joking. No, Kerry's a diamond. She's a diamond.
You're getting yourself in trouble, Adam. I'm not like
Yeah.
this. So.
No. In all honesty, Kerry can be really annoying at times, but guess what? So can I. But this is why we're in this love-hate marriage, because as Kerry's informed me numerous thousands of times, is if one partner loves the other partner but then annoys them at the same time, they're meant for each other.
Okay. Well, never having been married, I'm not going to argue with that. But just so let's get back to so what have been the biggest trials for like for parenting your children or challenges?
Can I take that one? Can I take it?
Go on, Adam.
We'll get both of you to answer that.
Yeah, okay, so Kerry can shut up a minute. So I think the biggest trial is getting that support. Because it's like you have to fight to get your child that support. The support that you're already offering as parents, but it's the educational. Come on, you're getting me started on the education now, Dale. Come on, you know what I'm like. It's you have to fight for that because the education feel like they know your child better than the parent do, and it's like no.
So you're talking about like outside agencies, but
Yes.
I'm talking about like internally. What's been the biggest challenge? I mean, obviously
Lack of understanding. Yeah, when we go like shopping and all that, getting these funny looks, judgmental comments, and all that.
So you're still talking about people outside rather than inside, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I'm just like trying to get to, maybe you want to answer, Kerry, but I meant, what's been like the biggest challenge for you from within to, to being a parent to autistic children?
Yeah, it's definitely the lack of understanding. So when we're out and about, like the other weekend, for instance, I took Lucas out shopping. We needed to get a few things. We needed to go to a few different shops. And he had hold of the trolley, and he started running up and down the aisles, and he nearly ran into a staff member in the shop. And I had to apologise to the staff member, and I said to Lucas, right, let's go and find a fidget toy. So obviously he picked a box of fidgets. And with those fidgets, it did really, really calm him down to the point where we was able to finish the shopping, because without the fidgets, we wouldn't have been able to finish the shopping. I probably would have ended up bored from that shop. And it's one of my favourite shops, so we don't want that.
Yes. Yes.
Don't get bored for porn bargains, Adam. Shut up.
So what about the education? Are your children in special classes, or are they like in the general?
Lucas is going into a special educational needs high school. He starts next week. Tegan is still in mainstream, so just a normal school. But then we're looking at special educational setting for her, because we don't think she's going to manage by the time she gets ready to go high school. Because obviously high school is always a step up from primary school. Right. It's a lot harder because there's transitions between one class and another classroom, and there might be like one at this side of the school, one at the other side of the school, sort of thing. So
are they going to do D levels or B level? I went to school in England. I remember there's A levels and then there's D levels, right?
Can I take this one?
Go on, Anna.
We think, actually we don't think, but we believe Lucas will be doing the A levels, of course, but Tegan won't. That's what we think.
She might do, but definitely Lucas will do. I think, to be honest, as we look towards the future with Tegan, it's more she's going to be needing, obviously, a special educational school setting like Lucas, and it could be that she follows Lucas into a special educational setting, just not the one that he's going to. And then obviously it means that we're going to have to move to a new area to do that, because the school that we've got in mind isn't in the area we live in currently.
Okay, so
there is a lot of lack of understanding around.
So basically, you have to move in order to get to the correct educational system. You're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on a day-to-day basis, we've got to have set routines in place. Without those set routines, it'd just be chaotic, and the kids would have meltdowns near enough every day. So we have a morning routine in place. So from when they get up, they can chill out a little bit. And then it's right from a certain time, it's right, have breakfast, get dressed, brush their teeth, make sure the bedrooms are clean, the curtains are opened. If they've got a cup in the bedroom from a drink that they've had the previous night, it goes downstairs to take their dirty washing downstairs. Little things like that in the mornings that would, just little organisational things like that. Then they also have a bedtime routine. So get a drink, brush the teeth, get ready for bed, close the curtains, that sort of thing. And then they just chill out. And that there's about 45 minutes before bed that they're not allowed any technology of any form, because then they can just chill out and get ready to go to sleep. And we found that cutting that technology right before bedtime has really, really helped getting them off to sleep.
Same with chocolate.
Well, I think that's very important. That's important not only for children who are autistic, but just children in general to have a routine. And I admire the fact that you managed to get them to follow it. And I guess they at this point they don't really object to it, right? They just accept it. Right?
They do try and change it. They do.
Right.
They try and reduce the list. They try and reduce the list.
Is that a product of age, or is that just a product of rebelliousness?
I say stubbornness, which they get from the mother.
You say what?
I will admit, in my family, my nana was stubborn, my mum is stubborn, and I am stubborn.
She's admitted it.
I guess that's a big revelation. So
See, well, I have to, Dale. I have to.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Kerry's dad.
well, so Graham Duval says yes, definitely. I'm not sure if they're reacting to that or what, but
That's my dad.
Oh my goodness.
you're throwing off my whole pace, you two, with your back and forth banter. But I'm so basically so. What would you say? You said at the beginning, Kerry, that autism is also a gift. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so autism is a gift. So every person with autism has a unique gift. So Lucas is maths.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely brilliant with maths. He can, I mean, at 10 years old, he's not supposed to be doing GCSE levels, which is like the top end of high school, secondary school, and then even college level things, but he's already doing them. He can already do college level maths, So, I mean, the maths teacher at the high school that he's going to is having to speak to the local college about getting some extra work just for Lucas that's going to be tailored for Lucas. So there's going to be a lot of tailored education there, especially around maths, where he's not going to be able to do a maths lesson with the other kids in the school because he's just so advanced than them. It is going to be that. I mean, Tegan's, he's absolutely brilliant at maths. He was telling me the other day about a graphing calculator. Now, before he had a maths tutor, I didn't know what the hell a graphing calculator was. I didn't even know these things existed. But apparently these things... No, it's basically, when you look at a graph with data on it or anything like that, he can make this graph in this calculator. And I think it was like 40 quid on Amazon for this calculator. And like 40 quid for a...
He's got one.
What?
He's got one.
Right.
He's getting one, yeah.
So it's like a highly advanced math instrument, right?
Well,
yeah.
I'm actually to blame for that. I'm admitting I'm blame because when he was in reception, so he literally just started primary school. On this yard, there was a snakes and ladders grid. And I was introducing him to numbers that way. And by the time he got into year one, he could do his from 1 times tables up until 13 by year one.
Right. So you encourage his math. You encourage his math by the snakes and ladders.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is, any child can be taught to be advanced if their parents know how to do it, right?
Well, yeah, and even then, when we home educated him, because he's been home educated since October of last year, and he actually said in his first week, he's learnt more from YouTube than he ever did in school.
Well, this is a little off the subject, but when I was a kid, I didn't say a word until the age of 4, and then one morning I walked into my kitchen and said, "Could I please have a glass of milk?" And that was my first words ever.
Ah.
So, have you ever heard of the book A Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah.
So one of the characters in The Wrinkle in Time was this genius kid, and they distinguished that he was a genius because he started speaking in full sentences. And so I was always jealous of this kid in the book because he started speaking in full sentences, and then I found out that I started speaking in full sentences. So I said, I really am a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did something similar with Lucas because when he was diagnosed with a speech and language disorder where he could only say a couple of words and he was really struggling, Kerry invited me to this group um, and that's when I created a Makaton book where it's Makaton is basically another way of a sign language, and he picked up on that. He was obsessed with this book, and then he did come on a lot, and he did start talking. But then when Tegan came along, he literally gave that book to Tegan, and he was teaching her.
So was that sort of like sign language for the blind, only for the disabled? For the
Yeah,
disabled?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell us
And
about.
no, I don't. I don't know what Lucas is learning all the time. I don't.
No, we don't.
And that's what Graham's got.
Well, that's probably because he's so advanced, he's beyond your comprehension, right?
Yes, because
Yeah.
Lucas is the cleverest individual in the entire family.
So tell us about Tegan. What's her special gift?
Singing.
Tegan's is her imagination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does
So
she
we're
write
just going to shut Adam
stories
a
or
little bit.
anything? Or?
Yeah. So we recently went to, well, a few weeks ago we went to a pub, our local pub, for some food for dinner time. And they had like a little Lego set there. So she made a little Lego character. And then we literally within minutes of building this little character, and it was only about what? About 5 or 6 pieces of Lego put together. And she basically told us a whole story. This told us the name of this character, where they lived, how they grew up, what they wanted to do with their life, a little story about a day in the life of this little character, just off the top of her head. So I
Right.
mean, to be able to make a character and then within minutes come up with a whole life story for this character, her imagination is absolutely brilliant. So
But
yeah, she will be a great storyteller.
well, that's what I was
So
going to say. I think you should encourage her to write stuff. Does she write okay? I mean, can she write this stuff down?
she's okay. Well, she's getting better at her writing. She's obviously going to need some help with her writing. I mean, both me and Adam think that Tegan's going to come up with the design for a house, and Lucas is going to be able to build it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, so that's going to work out in my Adam's favour because Lucas and Tegan are going to build us a house with a pool inside it. They've said.
I'm sure that's your future perfect home, right?
My home.
Right, you know what, Adam? I had to. It was annoying me.
So, your home, Adam.
I'm staying.
So, so Lucas is math and Tegan is imagination and stories. So that's basically both sides of the spectrum. There's like the English creative side, and then there's the math logical side, right? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
how they interact, I still not sure how they interact.
I think they've got like a love-hate relationship. So some days they'll be best friends. So they play Minecraft together. So Tegan will come up with a design, and Lucas will basically make that design on Minecraft, and then Tegan will go in basically and tweak everything that Lucas has just done. So it's like, no, I like that, but you've done that bit wrong. You've done that bit wrong. You've done that bit wrong. So in that sense, it's she's like me, but her own creativity is coming out as well. So she's sort of telling her brother, yeah, it's perfect, but you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong, sort of thing. You know, but yeah,
Like you and
she
Adam,
is
right?
she's really good. I don't do that.
Yes, you do.
I do not.
But well, so basically, Tegan and Lucas like collaborate and like come up with and reinforce each other's ideas, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's very
Yeah,
positive.
yeah, but then they also argue like cat and dog as well on other days.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been times where we've got an art set each, and they still fought over it.
Right.
It's the exact same art set, and it was Christmas Day, so they'd only just opened these things, and they still argued, even though they had the exact same thing each.
Yeah.
And what were they arguing about?
Apparently,
About
Tegan had stolen something of Lucas's or something like that. And I'm like, oh,
so, but it sounds like they get along very well and they sort of complement each other, right? That
yeah,
must be very
yeah. But then
fulfilling.
other days it still argue like cat and dog.
Well,
Like me and you.
like me and my sister and I used to like, argue all the time. I think it's part of the sibling dynamic that you argue, So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I argued with my siblings growing up.
You still do.
Yeah.
well, I would have like good periods with my sister, and then there would be times when I like get so frustrated I like would like lash out, not physically lash out, but call her names and stuff, and then she'd get very upset and she'd run to my mother, and I get in trouble. So, that's basically but so looking forward to the future. How do you see Lucas and Tegan developing?
Here we go. I'd say Tegan will definitely be into her drama, probably performing in pantomimes, becoming an author, while Lucas, he will just be probably an inventor.
And an economist and a mathematician, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
No, Tegan wants to be a movie director.
okay.
So basically, she'll come up with this whole movie with all the characters in it and everything like that. Then she'll sit in a director's shirt, and it has to be a pink director's shirt, she said, and she'll tell everybody what to do.
Well, you can encourage her with that, and I mean, with smartphones and everything, you can encourage like her making movies, right?
A spinning chair.
And it has to be a spinning director's chair.
Yeah.
All right.
I like pink.
She wants a pink director's chair.
Pink
Yeah, we'll
That
get
spins. Okay.
Kerry.
Right.
Kerry, it's lights out.
Lights out. You want to be an author as well, right?
No stories.
Right. Okay. Well, guess what? Lights out. Good night.
Well, so it seems like you aren't worried about their futures at all. It's something that I mean, so many people they hear diagnosis of autism, and I mean, as you said at first, Kerry, you just like were in despair and threw up your arms, but then you have done research, and there's also like a spectrum of autism, right? Because some people are like more affected than others, but it's just like I admire the fact that you like. Well, I guess you didn't have much choice, but the way you brought up your children, they seem to be very self-sufficient and and able to cope on their own, which is admirable.
They can cope on their own, but obviously they do still need a lot of help. So I mean, Lucas is 10 years old now, and even though he can wash his own hair, there are times when mum and dad still have to step in and help him because he won't do it. He won't do it properly, and that's same with Tegan. So she's able to wash her own hair, but she's not able to brush it properly on her own yet. So they are still learning those life skills as they get older. There are still a lot of life skills they do need to learn, and obviously me and Adam will help them learn that as they get older.
Well,
It's
that's
yeah,
true
it is
also.
a case of we've had to teach them things. a lot of things.
But I think that's true of all kids. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like specific to autistic to them having autism. Maybe it's taking you longer to like teach them, but they have learned, and
yeah,
that's the important thing. What that they get, and as I say, the routine is very important. I think because when I was in the midst of my illness, it was like create a routine, Dale. Create, just do something every day. And I think that's very important for not only autistic children, but for children in general.
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's more with autism. It's having to teach them how to manage when they're out in public. So one of the things that they used to struggle with is large crowds. I
Mm.
mean, they still do have the odd occasion where they will struggle with large crowds and loud noises and that. But then there are occasions where they're prepared for it. They know there's going to be a large crowd. They know there's going to be lots of noises. But because we've prepared them for it, they're nice and calm and eased. And it just depends what the day is like. So we took them to Southport, and lots of people were there. It was a sunny day. It was loud because it was an air show day. So obviously, all the planes in the sky, low down, doing tricks in the sky and everything like that. Um, it was absolutely brilliant, and they coped really well. But then about a month later, we took them to Blackpool Air Show, and Lucas didn't cope at all.
No.
Um, similar circumstances. There were lots of people, lots of noise, and it were a nice sunny day. And Lucas didn't like it at all. He just wasn't enjoying himself, and we had to leave early. So there are
Well,
days where he will cope better than other days.
well, I think it's very important to prepare. Even autism notwithstanding, it's important to prepare children for something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think with Lucas getting triggered, I think obviously it didn't help with the weather because that got to him, but also I think it was a mixture of things because it was the weather, it was the crowd, and it would have been the obviously the sound as well, but maybe the traffic going down because it took us longer to get down than it did to come back.
So do you find they're impatient with things?
Oh, they are very impatient.
That's that's what I was thinking is
They got
maybe
that from me.
got it from you. Okay. Well, I've always been impatient too. I hate waiting for buses and stuff, but and all the things I admire your parenting skills, but a lot of these things you're talking about are just seem like to be normal parenting issues that are probably reinforced by the autism, but they're not like especially because of the
yeah.
autism.
Yeah.
When you plan it, when we're planning like a normal day out, so obviously it's the 6 week holidays, so obviously they're getting ready to go back to school. So while we've been doing school shopping and we've been going out doing school shopping, we've had to like tell Lucas what shops we're going to be going to. So if we're going to go to Primark, if we're going to go to Home Bargains or B&M Bargains or to Shoe Zone for the shoes, we've had to sort of make a list and tell him we're going to go this store, this shop, this shop, this shop, and then this shop. And we sort of have to stick to that. So it's if he knows we're going to be going to 5 shops, it has to be those 5 shops and in that order. So there can't be any deviation from that. If there is deviation from that, he's going to have a full blown meltdown in the middle of town. And obviously, he has had full blown meltdowns in the middle of town, and we've had to deviate from the plan and come home early without getting what we need.
And that's
Um,
why we're preparing for him to go into crisis when it comes to Christmas shopping. Because I know he will.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When it
Well,
comes to autism and Christmas, it's
Mm-mm.
it doesn't well. he'll love the colours, but it's more the lights, the twinkling lights everywhere that they're triggers to him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So does Tegan have every reaction, or is it just him?
No, both of them.
Oh, okay. And they just don't like the lights, or I'm not sure I understand.
It's the lights and the sound.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
they
because obviously
get
in a
any?
shop we'll be playing one song, and then in the shopping mall between the shops they'll play a different song. So it's coming out of one shop and it might be playing like Jingle Bells or something like that. You'll come out the shop and they'll be singing "Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow" sort of thing. And then they might go into a different shop and play a completely different song. So it's processing all that, processing bags rustling. I think if you really want to understand what autism is like on a day-to-day basis, there's a really good program called The Good Doctor. It's on Now TV and it explains autism absolutely amazingly.
Yeah.
We're currently watching it and we're learning ourselves from it, even though we live with autism.
So would that be only in England, or is that
It's on Netflix.
Oh, Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it is on Netflix.
And what's the name of it again?
The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor. Okay, well, that's good to know. So,
Annette watches it.
and what
Yeah.
have you learned like any specific things from it that you'd like to share?
Yeah, there's something called a Savant Syndrome. So it's
Yes.
basically the guy that's in The Good Doctor. He's got Savant Syndrome. It basically means that he is a genius, and we think that Lucas might have the same thing. So we're actually pushing to get him assessed to see whether he is going to be, because we seem to think that he is. So if he does have this Savant Syndrome, he is a genius. So he's already a genius anyway. But it just means that he's a medically diagnosed genius, and we're going to expect even greater things from him.
Well, I've been accused of being a savant too. Okay. Well, so I understand the savant, but basically, a savant is usually like just in one area, right? A genius in like one area, like math.
No, Savant Syndrome is basically across the board thing.
Hmm?
Okay.
It's across the board thing, so it means that he will pick up on other things. So
So if it's across the board, then that sort of like neutralizes the autistic diagnosis, and it turns into a genius diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
no, because the autism will basically what will make him a genius. So obviously, with Lucas, yeah, all right, he's absolutely amazing at maths, but he's also brilliant at physics. So how things go together, the universe is being put together, sort of thing.
Right.
He understands all that.
Yeah, we think he's going to go into engineering as well because he's always been very good at construction and deconstruction.
So which is why
Pulling things apart,
you're
putting it
go
back
build
together.
the house that Tegan designed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to the future anyway because Lucas said that he's going to build me and Kerry a house anyway, so with a big mansion with a pool. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'm sure you are.
I am.
All we gotta do is get the mental health warriors making a profit, and that'll be no problem, right?
Of course. Warrior Island.
Yeah, Warrior Island, that's cool. Or Warrior Haven.
Yeah, yeah. An island just for the mental health warriors where even you live on it now.
I can't leave Hackensack at this point.
All the warriors will live on it.
Yep. Well, one thing I'd like to say is welcome Robert Brooker, Annette, and Graham, and all the people who are lighting up the chat. So I'm looking for questions. So uh, I don't see any questions, but um, so this has been very interesting. I just I think there are like a lot of parallels between schizophrenia and autism sometimes because it's sort of like schizophrenia is like autism that hits at a later age, but it also I think it's important to realize that autism, uh, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but autism doesn't take you out of reality, whereas schizophrenia does. Would you correct?
Um, when you're living with autism, you've got your own world, your own bubble, and it's. I feel like it's about time people understood that and accepted that they're just. We've all got one thing in same, and that is we're all human. So why should autism or autistics be treated different?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like a lot of the things you've learned are things that normal parents learn, people without children who are autistic learn too. But it's just like you've had to like dedicate yourself a lot more to helping them learn these things rather than children who naturally pick it up, right?
exactly. It all
Yeah.
goes down to communication and patience, which I'm very struggling to learn patience at the minute.
Yeah, Adam never has any patience at all.
No, no. I've
Well,
never had it, so why should I learn it now?
that's the important thing. I mean, I think a lot of people are very impatient, and as I was talking about with myself, I'm impatient. But you know, this is sort of like the thing that the Lord gave you to teach you patience, right?
He's impatient. Yep.
Well, that's uh, that's not necessarily a fault. Oh, you Adam.
I'm not doing it.
I'm trying to add you to the stream, Kerry, and it's
It
not.
can't, it's you two doing
There you
it.
go. But okay, well, we got like about 5 minutes left. So, any like summarizing thoughts or any ideas or insights about the subject that you like to share with us, both of you? Why don't you
Um,
go first, Adam?
go on then.
No, okay, go first, Gary.
I think one thing everybody should know about autism is just because they've got the autism diagnosis doesn't mean they're any less of a person. You might find that being friends with a person with autism, they'll know something about a certain subject that you don't, and you can learn a great deal from them. So have patience with them, talk to them, treat them as though the autism isn't there. Teach your children the same thing.
Well, also, have you found that your autistic children like are more compassionate and caring about other people?
They
It
can be.
varies.
Yeah,
Varies.
they can be. So Lucas, when he wants to be, can be very, very loving, and he loves his cuddles, and he's got his dad's cuddles. So a cuddle from Lucas is like cuddling Adam, and he's got amazing cuddles. He's so lovely. But it's breaking past that barrier. So we had a friend here over the weekend, and the first time she came, he came downstairs. He sort of eyed her up a little bit and then disappeared back upstairs. And it wasn't till a couple of hours later he came down again. He sat down having his tea and was sort of weighing her up a little bit. And then we played a game of hangman to try and break the ice between them. And he then realised that okay, this person's okay, and mum and dad think that she's okay. So he felt safe around her. And then he then started opening up. And this morning, when she's gone home, he didn't want her to go home.
No.
Okay. Well,
So, yeah.
I think my impression has been that like there's like a difference between the antisocial behavior of the autism, but also the tendency towards like caring a lot that that isn't expressed because of the fear of the other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very much. Lucas and Tegan know that if mum and dad are okay around a person, then that person's okay. Yeah. Otherwise, you know it's more like if they decides that he doesn't like you, he's not gonna like you. That's it.
Yeah, Lucas is one of these. Once he's made a judgment on someone, it's next to impossible to change his mind.
Yeah.
And is that from a first impression or a general impression?
Both.
That's from a first impression. I think it's more a first impression. It's if he decides that no, I don't like the look of you or anything like that. That's it. You're not going to change his mind.
No.
He's just not going to tolerate you. He might acknowledge you, but he'll never get to the place where he talks to you and have a conversation with you or opens up to you.
Mm.
So I guess that doesn't bother you, but it can bother other people if he doesn't like you, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it might bother other people. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to be on Adam's show on Thursday, so I'm going to be interviewed about myself, which is something rare on Mental Health Warrior TV. So
Are you not on a next show tomorrow?
it's Thursday, right?
No, Annette's is tomorrow. Mine's Thursday.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm on. Yeah, I'm on tomorrow too, right? With
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, yeah. Last time I checked, you was on. Well, obviously, it was supposed to be me going on the next show as well, but I pulled out, so then went overload myself. So you'll be on with Annette, Mary, and Andrea.
Oh, okay. Because
You're the only male.
yeah, I know. I'm always the only male here, usually. But okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that, and also looking forward to you, Adam, on Thursday. It's at 8 o'clock UK time, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, both of you, for being here today, and I think we enlightened a lot of people, and I hope the questions were good, and always a pleasure to deal with both of you. And don't kill him tonight, Kerry. We need him around.
Yep.
So have a good night, everybody, and take care, and lights out for the kids, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, have a good one.